it will reassure you or help resolve this situation, I will go and get Andrew and we can discuss this further.
Go get him. I definitely need him. I don't got money to just be given because it's just being given, man.
We're not trying to just take money from anybody.
That's what it sounds like. Hey, bro.
Hey, bud.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
When I came, right?
Yes, sir.
When I talked to you,
Yes, sir.
talk to you on the phone, right? You telling me we exceeded $2,000? This is me talking to you, and you know the conversation that me and you had.
Yes, I'm aware.
Right? You did call me and say that the brakes were working.
That is correct.
Right.
Parts.
Right. And that's the point.
It
that
is something that I didn't catch, so that is my fault.
Right. So, and which is what I was telling her. As a customer, you tell me one price. When I come in, boss, you telling me something different. When I know I only had this to spend, that's not on me. That's what I was saying the whole time, bro. I'm not. Even when he came in, he had the family issue. I left.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Rev it again.
Cause it's definitely whining. It wasn't even whining like that when I brought it. I ain't trying to be no jerk, love. If I'm finna give y'all that much money for alternator, I don't want to leave here with my alternator whining. Sugar man, 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 sugar man. Sugar man, sugar man, sugar man, sugar man. What's up, people? What's up, world? It's the one they call Sugar Man on that. How y'all doing today? Okay. That's nice to hear. I'm doing good as well. It's a blessing to wake up this morning. It's another blessing to be watched by y'all. I appreciate all the views. Before we get started, excuse me, hit like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know if y'all rocking with me. Let me know if you think my channel a piece of trash. I need all of the vibes, shorty. Hit like and subscribe, comment, share, you know, all of the goodies, man, that got to do with it. Hit that bell so when I drop them videos, you ain't got to go looking. It'll get the notifications right in your notifications. It'll get the notification. You'll get the notification right in your notifications, if I'm making any sense. Back in this big boy dually up right now. Got that trailer on me. It hits different. We're going to pick up Big Zod, man. You know, yesterday's video wouldn't really go because of they left early. It was supposed to be some weather, severe heat advisory, so they left early. So we just went and got jerk, which I'm going to get jerk again today. I ain't gonna even lie. That jerk was busted, but I'm gonna try to get something different on the menu this rip. I'm definitely gonna get that chicken again, though. That chicken, cabbage, and that macaroni was definitely overstrained, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. That was busting. So we probably gonna do that jerk again today. Probably take my OG out to eat. See if my mom wanna go get some jerk chicken or something. I ain't wanna seen her. So now you know this is the situation where we finna have some words with the guy, man. So I already see the angle that they coming from, which is it's been a mistake. Well, starting this video off, the only mistake is being on their part because y'all told me a price and then you called me back and say, well, I can show you the receipt. Price has been different. I don't do business like that. You tell me something when I leave, I come back, I expect to pay that. So that's where we at right now with it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna vlog, pull my camera out, let y'all hear this for yourselves. And here goes nothing. Yay, yay. Yo, yo. What's up, my guy?
Go to the front entrance, they'll deal with you there.
Right here?
No, go around to the front entrance. First floor on the left.
Want me to go through the front entrance? Already on the trash. Somebody here deal with me here. What do you mean? So we're gonna get in here and do some business in the office, I guess. That's cool too. Hey, how you doing, sir?
How are you?
Hey, how you doing? I just talked to what's his name, Adam. Told me deal with me here in the front entrance. I'm a blogger. I'm a YouTuber.
Okay. Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't allow recordings on private property.
You don't rely on recordings on private property. Okay. Well, it's been a situation with this whole ordeal.
No, absolutely.
So this is a situation that I am gonna record because of the situation that we have going on as far as this price and this big miscommunication supposed to be going on. So for my safety,
I mean, we're not friends to you, sir.
we have a problem with the price that's going on. I was told one price, now I'm being charged something else.
Okay.
So-
You're being charged the price that you were advised.
Right. Well, on the phone, because I don't live here. I live in Texas.
Okay.
When I left, my price was only $800,
800. Okay.
and then it went up to like $1,600,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it may have been like another $100 or something like that, which was added, which I agreed on with the guy. Now I talked to the owner, which is not who I talked to on the phone.
Yeah, we had a service provider.
Right. And we didn't agree on nothing over 2,000, and I know for sure I didn't even have 2,000 to spend. So that was first off and foremost. I never even exceeded 2,000. So that's where the problem already starts. So I hear what he told me about a receipt and everything, but the thing, well, my comeback on the receipt is I never agreed to anything over 2,000.
Okay.
So anything that was done or exceeded that limit should have brought to my expectations and got okayed, because
Yeah.
now my vehicle
Which you
is
did. That's the thing. So we weren't notified that there was a $2,000 max limit.
which it didn't have to be. It didn't have to be. It didn't have to be notified that it was a 2,000 max
Right.
limit.
Well, me personally,
Because
if I was
if
going
we-
to go in somewhere not willing to spend more than a certain amount, I would go, hey, provider, my budget on this is $2,000.
Right.
Okay, but
Well,
initially it was-
but
Okay.
I don't have to tell you what my budget is, because if we agree on a price, anything else
Yes.
done after that
Right.
should be brought to the attention of the customer,
Yes.
saying, yay do, yay don't do. I
Absolutely.
did get a call saying my truck was done. Also, the brakes was done, right? I say, cool, I'll pick it up next week. We already was at a price. The following week, I said, I'm gonna pick the truck up. He said, well, hold on, your brakes is not working. This is what extra we'll need, right? Okay. 1 week my brakes was done. The next week when we pick up my brakes wasn't done, you're gonna need extra parts.
Okay.
That's another problem, because you can't tell a customer his car is done and ready with this price and this extra stuff that I got you doing already, and the brakes wasn't done. If the brakes wasn't done, why am I adding all of this other stuff to it?
Okay.
So hold on, that's another problem. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm. I just want to see where we're at with the timelines. I know there was multiple steps that
Right.
happened. with this.
Right,
So
right,
when-
and that's how my phone calls went, saying that the truck was done. I said, okay, since the truck done, I'll spare getting this done, I'll spare getting that done, I'll spare getting that done, which was added to my bill. Then on the pickup, hold on, bro, you got to wait on your brakes not working. You got to spend another $400. That's not business, because at the end of the day, if you telling me my brakes is done, then the brakes should be done, not know we made a mistake. All of these mistakes is not on me.
Okay.
And I don't have to tell a business my limit, because before you do something to a customer car, you have to get the okay from him.
Right, which our service advisor does on a normal basis. So when
Mhm.
you got this call that it was ready, and then, oh, hang on, we found something else. What was it that you were told was found at that point? That was the
They said the brakes wasn't working, but the week prior my brakes was working. But on pickup it wasn't working, and you got to spend an extra $400.
Okay.
So that's where the problem started as well, because you can't tell a customer his brakes working and then add more work, and then upon pickup a week later say, oh, your brakes not working, you got to spend more money. Because what was all of the other stuff for? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the problem is not relying with me. I don't know if it's relying through who you got calling me or whatever, but I've been misguided through the whole time. And I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just doing business the correct way. And from the phone conversations that I was had, the problem's not on my end, because you telling me my truck was ready and the brakes is working when the brakes was never working.
Well, I'm just trying to gain an understanding of it from the other side, because there's multiple sides to everything. So
Right.
I want to get the whole picture of everything.
And which is why I vlog. And like I told him, I vlog. I'm a YouTube. I got 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a big deal for me.
Okay.
When I dropped my truck off, we pulled it off the truck on the camera,
Okay.
and the brakes were spongy, which he said we fixed them. They're just spongy. So, which I got the vlog. The brakes were spongy when I dropped them off. So at the end of the day, everything the problem when I came here was to get brakes working, the car charging, and running on 8 cylinders. That was the 3 main things.
I remember it wasn't.
They
right.
said we got the alternator charging,
Yep.
right? Cool. We got it running on 8 cylinders. Cool.
Okay.
We got the brakes done. Cool.
Mhm.
That's all I wanted, right?
Right.
Now they said, did you want to do this and do that? Well, I said, since those 3 are already done, go ahead. That's where the extra stuff come in, right?
Right.
The last thing that I wanted done, which was the dashboard wired up, right?
Yeah.
He said, well, we didn't get to that, but everything else is done. I said, I'll be there in a week to pick it up. In a week to come pick it up, I said, hey, I'll come get my truck tomorrow because I'm in town. He said, cool. Then he called back a couple hours later and said, hey, your brake's not working, but we got to spend an extra $400. So I said, well, what was the extra stuff for? Why did I put all of the stuff on that I didn't need to do? Well, you needed that anyway. It's not about what I needed anyway. It's about what I told you I wanted first. The rest is extra. That's where I told you my limit came in at. So if you telling me my brakes is done, why are we doing this extra stuff? And I told him on the phone, since this is a problem and it's a big deal, which I wrote down, I want my brakes done, right? All the extra stuff, you can take it off. Because if my brakes is not done, why are you adding up a check on me after you told me my brakes was done? So to make this simple, everything that you did to my brakes, I don't want it. Because if my brakes not working, then what am I doing? That's where the limit come from. But none of the other stuff was supposed to be done before the brakes.
Right. So, point that you're saying here is when they called to let you know about the master cylinder having an issue.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And and at that point, I was already at 2,400,
Yeah.
which in my book, with the phone call that I got from the guy that I talked on the phone to, was no more than 1,700, because he wanted 150 to wire the dash.
Yeah, starting at 150.
Right,
And then
which was-
time and material.
Right, but he said it would be extra 150 started. And I told him on the phone, well, if you can't do it under 200,
Then
don't worry
Right,
about
so
it,
that was
period.
not much.
Right, cool. But I was still, at that point, I was still under 2,000, even if I would have got the ignition wire. So when I got here, he said it wasn't done. I said, I don't care about the ignition. I got somebody to do, not the ignition, the ignition in the dashboard. I got somebody to do that. You feel me? Don't worry about that. I'm gonna just pick the truck up.
Okay.
He said, well, hold on, the brakes not working. I said, well, you called me a week ago and said the brakes were working. Well, you need something extra. Well, you can't tell me the brakes was working and charge me for all this extra stuff and then tell me the brakes not working. I had a limit for this, and this is what I told you I wanted done. So now at this point, you're trying to make a paycheck for your workers, how I'm feeling.
No, I mean, we honestly don't want to rip anybody off. Obviously, everybody's business is going to say that, but truly, we do not want to rip anybody off.
Okay.
So my understanding of what had happened was the work for the brakes was completed, the rear drums, the front pads and everything were done, or rotors and everything were done. Then Adam took it out himself for a test drive. It still wasn't right, but by then somebody had already called you, I believe it was Andrew, had already called you to say that it was done because that work had been completed, but Adam wasn't satisfied with it because it wasn't up to his caliber of work performed. So
Okay.
that's when there was another call, wait, hang on, there's another issue, and that's when the master cylinder issue was discovered. And I saw the fluid in the master cylinder, it was.
And hear me out. My dad have a shop, and I explained to him before. I got real high-powered cars, Wildwood brake systems, real brake boosters, $1,000 brake boosters. So bringing it to you, if I need brakes, why wouldn't you start at the master cylinder? I didn't need the drums and the rotors. I told him I needed brakes. The guy called and said, hey, you want to upgrade the whole system? I said, I don't want to upgrade the system. I want to get the brakes working before it goes to the paint shop. Because when it come out of the paint shop, I'm going high-powered system. And why would I put a fresh stock system on when I'm going to go high-powered system? It doesn't make sense. Them was my exact words to him. He said, okay, cool. I said, I just wanted to get the brakes working. I didn't want to upgrade everything. That was the point. So that was the whole point of my balance being what it was. You got me what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I made it clear to him, I don't want to go upgrade my whole system because I'm going Wildwood brakes and a big boy brake booster.
Mm-hmm.
So why put all stock stuff on brand new when I'm going to take it off and throw it back in the trash when I upgrade from the paint shop? He said, I understand. I said, so cool. That's how that conversation went again. At this point, we still never exceeded 2,000, even if he would have did the dashboard. So when he called back and say, hey man, I got your receipts, I say, hey listen bro, whether you have receipts or not, if I agree to a price on something, you can't go back after the job done and tell me something different. That's not how business works.
Right.
I was referred from y'all through R&D at John. John know I'm a good guy. I'm looking for no trouble. I do real business. He know what my high power cars I got. I said, you just can't tell a customer one price and then tell him something else upon pickup and say there's been a mistake.
Well, as far as I understand, there hasn't been anything done without prior communication and approval from you. And I went through and I looked at this just so I could, put this together in my head as well. What I have here for the tune-up and the alternator, so the plugs, wires, alternator, distributor issues.
That was started at like $700-800 from the get-go.
Right, so $862.68, including the alternator. Right, and then there was a diagnostic charge that you had discussed with Adam for $256, which was then credited back to you per your conversation with Adam.
Which you said half, but
he credited the whole amount for $256, so he did take that back off. So that brings it to $606.68. This is not including tax, shop supplies, anything like that. Then I have here for the brakes, just as a whole, front and rear, was $914.85 total. And then power steering pump, to replace the power steering pump on here, the labor was $508.39. Does all that sound like what you were told, or?
Well, I know when the guy told me what the guy told me, which was the guy who I first met, and you can call him in.
Yeah.
All
we got him working on something. So.
I understand, but in this situation, it's gonna have to be pulled because this is what he told me.
Right.
You got what I'm saying? I hear all what you're saying, and you got wrote down, and I also know what I was told because all of what was wrote down. I wasn't here to look at no papers and do all of them numbers. The guy was giving me prices, and I know what he told me over the phone.
Well, so I'm trying to, like I said, figure out where maybe this communication breakdown happened.
Well, the communication was your worker who told me a price over the phone. I didn't talk to you. I didn't talk to the other guy. I didn't look at no paper.
Well, and like I said, that's why I'm trying to figure out what happened here because, like I said, the tune-up and alternator was at $862. Adam later then credited back to the whole diagnostic charge of $256. So that brings you to $606. So then the brakes being $914, the power steering being another $500. I mean, that's just the brakes and power steering is $1,400. So I'm trying to figure out where this.
Your worker
1900
told me, well, you can't figure that out if you don't bring the worker in
I
here.
just talked to him, and all of this is what I got from him. That's
Yeah.
what
And like I told you, I could tell him to his face on the phone what he told me. It's the same thing.
Okay.
And I know what he told me. So you wasn't there.
Right.
The other guy wasn't there. I talked to him on the phone. So you not, like, once again, you can't figure something out if you don't bring him in here and ask him to my face what he told me on the phone. There's no way possible for you to do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't even have let my tab exceed that. I even told John that. That's why he sent me here. So there's no way for you to figure that out. Money's not the issue. That's not the problem we're dealing with. I'm very firm on numbers. It's my 5th car I'm building right now. And I know I'm building a stock system. And if I want to spend that much on brakes and on the system, I'll go Wildwood, which is $1,500. You got what I'm saying? So there's no way I came here to get my brakes working, not replace a whole system. That wasn't the situation.
Okay. So
And
you're
I
saying
never
that you
wanted
did
to.
not approve any of the brake work at all?
I didn't approve anything over $2,000 for what you have, is what I told. There's no way I would approve of $2,500 tab. And I was confirmed with your guy on the phone, and what he did, what he tried to do, and I stopped him. He tried to throw floating numbers, just like the dashboard.
Yeah.
And I stopped him with the floating numbers, because I don't do floating numbers, because it leaves room for what we have going on right now. I don't do business like that. I'm locked in with big shops. I do good business. So I don't do the floating numbers. And when I told him the same thing, he said, okay, cool, even with the dashboard. I said, what you gonna charge? Well, it's starting at $150. Okay, well, listen, if you can't do it for no more than $200, don't worry about it, because shops, I can't get it. I don't need it. I can't get a shop. I need a shop that I do this all the time. This is what I charge.
Yeah.
Either you know what you're doing or you don't. I'm not here because I don't have nowhere else to go. I'm here because I got referred to you. So if I'm not going to deal with a shop that has floating numbers. I've been going through this actually for the last 2 weeks. Same thing with my trailer. Come to a shop, I don't know, just leave it, we'll figure it out. So you do this every day, all day, for all your life, and you don't know what you charge for a break. It doesn't even register. A dashboard.
Yeah.
You don't know how to hook a dashboard up. You got to figure out how many hours it's going. That's not registering. If you do it, you either do it or you don't.
Okay.
And you know how much you charge for a dashboard. And if you don't, I won't. It's fine. I won't let you deal with it. I don't deal with floating numbers. I could drop you off my dashboard and you can run it up to 300 and say, hey, I got 300 and your dashboard's still not done. We still got to do it. I'm not going to put. I've been through this situation. That's why I know how I'm talking, and that's how I know I never exceeded. It's not about telling the shop, hey man, I don't want to go over 2,000 with the floating numbers. That's the reason why I'm not doing floating numbers.
Yeah.
I want a tab before I leave. I want that to pick up. As long as my brakes working and everything else working, that's fine. That's cool. Get what I'm
Which they are
saying?
now.
And my tab is at what?
The final invoice here is $2,243.09 after shop supplies and taxes.
Yeah. And that's not even with a new master cylinder. Am I correct?
It's not listed on here,
Right.
but as far as I understand, it's done.
So that's an extra $400 added to my tab, and there's still not even a new master cylinder added. And there is no dashboard wire up on there. And there is no ignition wire up on there. Now I hear you. I see how you got your prices and everything set down and did. I hear all of that. But once again, we never sat down and did that from the get-go.
When you're talking the ignition wires, you're.
Because I wanted to get a new ignition.
Oh.
This is what I was, listen, hear me out. This is how I was talking to your worker. I said, okay, well, since I'm still under 2,000, I'll get the ignition switch put in, that should be ordered here already.
It's not listed on here.
Well, right. So hear me out. Which he ordered the ignition already for me. It's supposed to be here. He just never put it in. I said, I'll get somebody to put that in for $50, right? But the price on ignition was maybe $15, $20. That's supposed to, see what I'm saying? That's supposed to be here. Also, the dashboard. He said, well, we don't have time. I said, it's fine, bro. It's no big deal on the dashboard or ignition.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about the dashboard.
Right. But I was telling him to go ahead and do it because I was still under. And I think, honestly, if I would have put the ignition in the dashboard wire, I think it might have been $2,200.
Okay.
And I think that's where we was at with it. And he was like, we can't have time. I said, don't worry, bro. It's fine. Long as you got my truck charging, brakes working, and on 8 cylinders, I'm cool. So then when I talked to him, he was at 2,400.
Yes.
And I'm like,
went back through and worked on it again.
right. And I'm like, how? Because if I would have added the ignition from the guy on the phone and the dashboard, it would have been 21 and some change, I think.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how do we jump to 22. Now this is not about me not having the money. I got the text message from you the other day. It was I felt offended because it was like, well, your truck is done. If you don't pick it up by Friday, we're gonna charge you $65 a day. Like I've been. It's not about the money, love. I got plenty of that.
No, we're just trying
It's
to give
about-
you a heads up that
You don't have to give me a heads up. I'm waiting on y'all. I come in your shop a week ago. Y'all wasn't ready.
I know.
I was ready for my truck
We
then.
greatly appreciate you.
So
guys
saying to
doing
me,
things on
if
that.
I don't pick my truck up, it's gonna be money a day. I feel offended. I've been ready for my truck
I understand.
a whole month ago when y'all told me my brakes was working and y'all needed another week to fix them. So telling me that I'm gonna be charged if I can't pick my truck up, making it seem like I don't have the money. The problem ain't with me. You said the truck and brakes was working. When they wasn't, another week go by. They wasn't. Now you need to add something else again. But just 2 weeks prior to what you said you did and done, the brakes was done. So and then to tell me I'll be charged if I don't pick it up, like I've been ready. Y'all saying it's done when it's not. You saying it's fixed when it's not.
Right.
I should be the one mad. Y'all taking 2, 3, 4 extra weeks. So sending me a message saying if I don't pick my truck, that's offensive. When at the end of the day, he just clearly had family problems. And I walked away. I said, cool. Take all the time you need, bro. Respectfully.
Yes.
This ain't about the money. Respectfully. Because truthfully be told, then and there, if I need my truck, I need my truck. Period. But respectfully, take your time, bro. I'm human. We all go through things, right? Take your time. Do your thing. Breaks all that week. I'm 2, 3 weeks behind with my paint shop appointment. So texting me that's an arrogancy and that's real offensive to me.
Okay, well, I was not trying to offend you with that.
But do you understand where I've been wanting my truck
I know.
when you
I
told me it
understand
was
that.
fixed when it wasn't.
Well,
So
you
I
jumped
should
the
be
gun
the
on
one.
that, saying
I should be the one
it was
complaining though. I should be the one complaining
Okay.
because to tell me my truck fixed when it's not, and I get in town way from Texas to pick it up and it's not, and you need more time, not me. Your worker said it was fixed, not me.
Yes.
Then to figure out we need more parts after you done did all this, did all that, after you told me what it was and wasn't. I should be mad, not y'all.
When you were called and advised about the brakes, what was the price that he gave you for the brakes?
The price that he gave me from the brakes, it was clearly no more than $700. Because once again, I was at $1,650. If you really want to be honest, it was at $1,650 with the ignition and the dashboard. I might have been at 21. I think I was at 21 then. I'm firm on this. With that and the brakes, but the brakes was supposed to be working.
And
They-
the brakes are working.
Right. But I'm just telling you. I'm backtracking you exactly how it went. The brakes was working, supposedly.
Yes.
So if I would have added the ignition switch, which the guy told me that he ordered and it was waiting on me, he said he didn't have time to put it in or wire the dash. I was nowhere near past 2,000. Now, if I would have got the ignition done and the switch, we would have been at 2,100.
Yeah, I mean, I see the ignition lock cylinder here on a revision.
Right. So you know I'm accurate with everything I'm saying.
Right. I don't see labor on there, but with that spark plugs, wires, rotors, brake shoes, power steering, all of that. That shows 2,400, 2,455.95. So I'm just trying to figure out where the math fell apart here. And then there's mentions of tires on another one.
Only thing I'm telling you, love, I don't know how y'all added it. I'm telling you what your worker told me. I could tell him if he come in here, I can tell him. I was nowhere near over 2,000. Definitely without my dashboard and my ignition, I wouldn't even have allowed it. And I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you that I have a $2,000 balance because we're not dealing with floated numbers.
Right. Well, at the same time, though, I would go in and say, hey, I don't want to spend more than $2,000 on this, you know, and if.
But I don't think that matters to tell you how much money I got, how much money I want to spend. If I tell you what I want done and you tell me what you want to fix it, how much money I got in my pocket,
Right.
how much money I got to spend, doesn't even matter.
Right. But what I'm saying is, so you brought it in, it wasn't starting, it wasn't running, right? They did the spark plugs.
It was
and everything.
definitely running. We started up, we drove it off the truck. I have footage to prove it on my YouTube. I can show you the video of me and your worker.
It wasn't in the
It
shop
wasn't
that day.
running on 8 cylinders, which he got that. It was a tune-up.
Right.
Alternator, he got that.
Right. So then
Brakes.
he calls you and says, hey, you need this other thing, but if you had said my limit is X amount of money, hey, but you also need this other thing, but that will put you over the X amount limit that you advise you don't want to spend more than. So what do you want to do? Do you want to just leave it? Do you want to take it? Do you want us to do it and up that limit? You know, that is helpful information for us as a shop when we're dealing with a customer, because we try and look out for our customers. And
Well, I'm not being looked out for. I'm not being compensated on a personal family or deal that y'all had. That's looking out for a customer. We arguing about $300 when y'all needed time. Y'all made mistakes.
Yes.
So how are you looking out for a customer when I've been traveling back and forth to Texas for the last 3 weeks because your family emergency, your guy saying the brakes was done when they're not. So where am I being compensated at? You just said you looking out for the customer.
Yes.
Where am I being compensated for y'all taking all day? You know what I got at the end of that? I got your truck is done. If you don't come get your truck, we're going to charge you. I'm waiting on y'all.
okay.
So how am I being compensated right now?
Well, the master cylinder was done for you at no charge. The diagnostics were comped back to you. So that is over $500 right there. That's back to you. So the other thing, the shop supplies are added at the end because it is a percentage of the parts, which I'm sure you understand with your dad having a shop and everything, and then tax. You can't do
Right,
anything
y'all
about
made
sales
money off parts, like, so
Well, it's not even making money.
it's
on
definitely
the
making
parts.
money off of parts. You
It's
make
shop
money off
supplies.
parts. You make money off labor. I have a business account myself at Auto World 2000, and like I told you, I could have brought my own parts and did them here, but the guy said we don't warranty them, and I said I didn't need a warranty. I just needed the work done, and he stated he wanted to use his parts. Fine, bro. I'll let you make the money off of the parts. I'm not gonna hold on. I'm not gonna argue over the petty parts. It's fine. Make your money off of the parts, which is a pretty good thing. I understand. I already did my price check on everything y'all put on, which is I've been adding to the numbers since day one. And like I told him, I know what this job costs. I know if I would have let someone else do it, I know what it would have costed. I was at $1,800.
Okay.
That was before the ignition switch installed, before the dashboard installed, which he didn't have time to do. So at this point, I feel like you guys making up numbers. How are you making them up? I don't know. I know what your guy told me on the phone. Now that I'm here at your shop, you want to make these papers up and tell me, well, this is what we charge. It's not about what you charge. It's about what your worker told someone on the phone. So at this point, y'all doing work and you adding stuff to it because I never was supposed to go over that. And I made it clear with your guy on the phone. I made it clear with him. I'm not going over 2,000. So for you to tell me this story that you're telling me, it doesn't even register to me because I never talked to you. So there's no way you can tell me what me and your worker talked about, period. And I think that's what you're trying to do right now. You're trying to sit here and tell me right now on your desk, well, I got this on the sheet, I got that on the sheet, and this is what we charge. Maybe so, but your worker and I were on the phone, and I was around 1,800. So That's a problem. And then you telling me you compensated me when it's been 3 weeks since you guys made mistakes, claimed the brakes was working, wasn't working. That sounds like something going on in the building, ma'am, not me. I'm not here trying to get a deal. I promise you, I pay for everything I want. But letting someone charge me a price different than what they told me before, that doesn't sit right. Now I'm talking to you, right? It's like you drilling me because you never talk to me. And you trying to for sure me that this is what it is. That's not how it goes. If your worker tells someone over the phone, ma'am, a price, y'all got to stick to that.
The prices that you were given are the prices that he told you over the phone, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
You can't bring your worker in here now and tell me he told me 2,000 nothing. You can't bring him. You can't bring him in this office right now to look me in my face with you and everybody else in this building and tell him to tell me he told me over $2,000. It's not gonna happen.
Okay. If I bring him in here and he says that, then is that going to resolve this?
So, let me say this.
I'm not going to prompt him. I'm just.
It's not about prompting. I'm not in your office, ma'am, looking for a handout.
I'm not saying that you are.
I'm telling you what was told to me over the phone. You wasn't even there, so it's like I'm looking at you on the defensive side right now. And how
I've
can
been
you?
involved in most of this process
I didn't see you from day one,
because my office is in the back.
and I think it was another lady at this desk when I came in. I got the YouTube video to prove it.
Okay.
So you being stand up to me is letting me know that you just going with what's being said.
I've been involved in multiple conversations regarding the process of your progress of your job. If it will reassure you or help resolve this situation, I will go and get Andrew and we can discuss this further.
Go get him. I definitely need him. I don't got money to just be given because it's just being given, man.
We're not trying to just take money from anybody.
That's what it sounds like. It don't make sense, bro. It don't make sense, bro. Hey, bro.
Hey, bud.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
When I came, right?
Yes, sir.
When I talked to you,
Yes, sir.
talk to you on the phone, right? You telling me we exceeded $2,000? We exceeded. This is me talking to you,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And you know the conversation that me and you had
Yes,
from day one,
Yes, I'm aware.
right? You did call me and say that the brakes were working, right?
That is correct.
Right? Cool. I said I'll be there in a week. You said cool. I called. I said I'm in town. I'll be here tomorrow. You did say that. Called me back and say, hey, the brake's not working. We got another issue. Right? You did say that, right?
That is correct.
After we added all this other stuff to the tab, saying that the brakes were already working.
That is
Correct.
correct. You are
Okay,
right
cool.
on that.
Another thing, right? I also told you when you said the ignition, right? Not the ignition, the dashboard,
Yes.
right?
That was something you wanted us to look into.
And you said you didn't have time,
That is correct.
right?
Because you were going to be picking up the vehicle in a short amount
And
of time.
that the
and we
brakes was
needed-
already working at that time,
That is correct.
but they wasn't.
So if I understand the situation.
Hold on, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm just asking him my question. I'm reassuring you our conversation that we did have. That's all I'm doing,
Yeah, just
right?
keep
At
keep
the
going.
at the ignition, you said that it would be our 125, 150 or something like that, depending on how long it take. And I said I didn't want to go over $200, right?
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit.
Because you
It's
said
it's a little
it
bit
started
fuzzy to me.
it started an hour.
Yes, because
and
with
it
these.
depended.
Yes.
And I assured you that if it goes over this amount, I didn't want it.
Which is something we couldn't guarantee.
And I said, don't worry, right?
Yes.
I'm making a point. I said that because One reason, I only had a certain amount of money to spend,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You told me my tab around 1800. We never exceeded $2,000. We probably would exceed it if the ignition and the dashboard was involved. When I talked to you on the phone, because I said, damn, bro, that's 2,000. I said, well, I don't want to exceed 2,000. So me and you never went over $2,000. We never agreed to nothing over $2,000.
If I may add something to this.
Go ahead, definitely.
So, the only reason why we had this sort of issue was just mostly because we didn't get anything concrete about a sort of cap on a budget currently. So what ended up happening was that we ended up blowing past it just a little bit currently right now. The issue that we're having is that your final tab, before we discussed any of this with you, was actually before any taxes or any shop supplies. Currently right now, before any of that, it's at 2,000.
Now here we are. Now this is where the misunderstanding is going, because
there's shop supplies and taxes that weren't added to your tab the first time around.
Okay, cool.
Because currently
that's where the problem relies. See, I know I'm saying what I'm right. So
because
I asked you on the phone though.
Sir, if you mind stepping over, we got another customer walking in behind you. Thank you.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Please continue.
So
I know you're trying to get somewhere.
I'm trying to get somewhere. But I also told you, right? Now, you saying before the shops and taxes and supplies were added, right?
Yes, because what I was giving you was a rough ballpark, because when we usually tear into these sort of jobs, we aren't sure of what we are expecting. For all we know, when we do this sort of work, everything could be trashed.
Facts.
Which means that it would be more than what we were anticipating.
Right.
What I've been giving you this whole time, from like the tune-up, the brakes, the power steering,
so
dash,
before
all ballparks.
Before taxes, what are you telling me? We was under 2,000.
A hair above 2,000.
Before taxes.
Yeah, $2,029.
That was before taxes.
That's before taxes. What's killing you right now
before the ignition.
That is correct.
Before the dashboard.
That is correct. If we did any of that for you, you would have blown well past it. Because, like I'm telling you right now, you're currently at the absolute limit of what we can do right now before taxes or any of the supplies. $2,029. You're capped.
Okay.
If we
So
add
let me ask
anything
you
else,
this. So let me ask you this, right?
Go ahead.
I said, what's my exact tab, right? You did give me an exact price on that phone, and I made sure you gave me exact price.
Yeah, that is correct.
Listen, hold on. Because I also told you I'm not trying to invest all that money in this truck. I'm just trying to get it to the paint shop.
Okay.
Right? With the brakes. You called me and suggested that I replace everything, it'll make it ride better, this and that. And I also told you that. So when you gave me a price on the phone, I said, is this my official price? And you said, hold on, listen to me. I'm this sure, because I kept drilling you. Hear me out. I kept drilling you, saying that I don't have a lot of money.
Okay.
Right? I said I don't have a lot of money to spend. I was real firm with you, and you was real firm with me. And you was like, let me call you back. Let me go check the boss. And you would call me. We had a lot of back and forth calls going on, and I was trying to make sure
it was
because
more so in regards to pricing.
Right. And I kept making you do that because I didn't want to exceed a limit that I couldn't afford. That's why you kept getting off the phone going to ask the questions. That was the whole point, because I didn't have the money. You get what I'm saying? That's why I wanted an exact price so we wouldn't end up here over $2,000 with a limit. That was the whole point of you going back and forth. When you kept saying, let me call you back, and you was like somewhere around. And I said, I don't need it somewhere around, bro. I need an exact answer.
Which I can understand your point on that. It's just that our issue is the whole idea that I brought up just a couple minutes
Right.
ago.
And my thing to that was answering with her is, after telling you something and you tell me a price, after I'm telling you I need an exact price, now you just came right in this room and said, well, that was before the taxes. So once again, I was told a price under $2,000. And you just said, well, after taxes and this and that. Well, I asked you to give me the total of that. That's why you kept going back and forth, boss. I'm not trying to start no trouble. I'm just trying to let them understand what me and you talked about on the phone.
Yeah.
So if we agreeing to a price, you get what I'm saying? You can't change up on me when I get to the building and say, well, it's this and this and that.
I know that. And
we
it's
didn't
not
have
fair.
we didn't have no paperwork. That's why you kept going back and forth, because I wanted exact prices. And I said, I'm not trying to penny pinch you. I just want to make sure I can afford what I'm getting, so we won't end up in this situation. And you just said it. Well, that's the price before, after taxes. You just said it when you come in the room, boss. We agreed on this. It wasn't over 2,000. Definitely not without the dashboard. I think the dashboard, it might have been 2,150 if we would have added it or something like that. We was borderline $2,000. And that's why I agreed, and I said, it's cool, don't worry. You get what I'm saying? I never exceeded the 2,000, though. I know I didn't, boss. I talked to you on the phone, and I was telling you to go back and forth to ask the boss, and you was hanging up, calling me back, hanging up, calling. We did that for like a week, boss. Every time you say something to me, we did that. You hang up, you go in the shop. You hang up, you go in the shop. And I said, I don't mean to be a jerk, but I don't have no extra to spend over that. Now I get here, and we still back here. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. What I told you. I'm not looking for no free work. I'm not looking for nothing. I'm over the limit. And I've waited an extra 3 weeks because y'all said the brakes was working. They wasn't. That was an extra week. Family issues. That was an extra week. I've played more than my part. Now we here, and the extras are coming from taxes and parts. It's not fair to me. Not when I talked to you and we came up with a price. Not over 2,000. 2,000 is what I had to spend. We never exceeded that, boss. So the taxes y'all saying and all of that, that's not fair to me. Like I told him on the phone, I say, look, boss, if the brake issue was a problem, and I talked to him. I said, because the only thing we really came to front on not over the 2,000 was everything else. Like I told him on the phone, you want to take all that stuff back off, bro, and just give me my truck without that? We could have did that. I'm not gonna go over $2,000, bro. Come on, man. Me and you never talked about going over that. Especially with you saying we don't have time to do the dashboard. And I told you perfectly fine, bro. I said, I also ended the conversation with, give me the ignition switch, I'll pay for it, have it put somewhere else. Which is not even on the paper that she's saying all my work is on.
Because that would have still, like, well exceeded your budget still. Even with the small amount that ignition switch was. Because there's additional things that would have had to been factored in with said parts that would have made the part a lot more than it currently was. So if we did end up agreeing to that, it still would have been closer to like the 2,100 that you're anticipating. That if I know that you were saying that was going to be like 2,150, we ended up doing
right, but she's at 2,200 with no ignition. It's not what me and you agreed on. And I know we didn't do paper. And I know we didn't do paper. We did phone conversation with me and you. We never exceeded 2,000, boss. And like I told you, like, man, cool. We right at it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you was telling me. I'm not in here to try to make up a lot of you, start any trouble. Neither am I looking for a handout. But we never exceeded $2,000. We never exceeded it. And then it was called back like, your tab is 424. You gotta need a master cylinder and this and that. I said, well, listen, this is my exact words. Why did we do all of that stuff if I just needed a master cylinder? I even told you.
If I may chime in.
We didn't need rotors. What we needed was a master cylinder because it was going to the floor.
Yes, but here's the other thing.
Go ahead.
That passenger rear wheel cylinder, I witnessed it myself.
Cool.
That thing was leaking brake fluid. at that time,
And I said
it was
fix it.
masking the issue.
And I agree to that.
Yeah, it's just that the issue is that that wheel cylinder leaking was masking what was going on with the master cylinder.
Which is why you charged me a diagnostic fee to see why my brakes wasn't working, because it was a separate diagnostic fee. Remember? It was a separate diagnostic fee. I remember you gave me a diagnostic for the motor and then the brakes because they was two different jobs. Remember, I went in sections. I said, I don't want to worry about that right now. Let's knock one out the way.
This is something I do recall completely.
Right, I remember. I listen, I'm the one spending. I know exactly how much I got to spend. And that's what I was basically saying.
Yeah, I have no argument with you on that.
Yeah, because I started with the motor.
Yeah,
you
started
said
with the
that's
motor,
running.
You wanted to make sure
I
that
said,
was good.
great. Alternator, charging, great. Let's go on to the brakes. Went there. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'll worry about the ignition and the dashboard later. You say, bro, the brakes working. I say, great. Feel me? And you like, well, brakes working. You probably need to do this and all that. I said, I don't want to do all that because I got to go to the paint. I just want regular brakes. I ain't trying to be fancy was my exact words to you. You're like, where's stuff looking kind of off? I said, it ain't about that. I just want to get to the paint shop. After that, I'm going Wildwoods. I'm only saying this to you because I don't have that much money to spend over two.
And some of the stuff I was bringing up with you at the time was stuff to look at in the future, especially some of the stuff I did mention because
correct
from how old everything
correct.
is.
We had a great conversation. There was no only problem I had was when the card and the tab was 24. I mean, you had a great conversation, and I think it was pretty self-explanatory of what we had going on. But 24 and all of that, bro, we never discussed 24, 22. We never got there. Definitely not without the dashboard. We never got there, bro. We never got the 22. So I don't know how y'all adding and this and that.
I think something is clicking.
Come on, man. I'm not in here. And I got other things to do. I got to go to a whole nother shop. Like, I'm not just here saying that for no reason, man. Like, I know I had 2,000 to spend. And I'd have came and you'd have been like 2,000, cool, whatever. Like anything over that, it just like, come on, man. I ain't looking for no favors. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
And I don't.
So what ended up happening was that your Tahoe, the way it's currently set up, has two different VIN numbers on it. It has the VIN for a 1999 Chevy Tahoe with a completely different setup. And then we have one VIN that is set up as a 1997 with a completely different setup as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came down to ordering these brakes, like we agreed on, we wanted to take care of, the parts that were ordered from the first VIN we tried were the wrong parts. So in order for us to get the correct parts in, we had to use another VIN, which unfortunately was a completely different set amount of money for those parts.
Right, and that's the point.
And it's something that I didn't catch, so that is my fault.
Right, so, and which is what I was telling her. As a customer, you tell me one price when I come in, boss. You telling me something different when I know I only had this to spend. That's not on me. That's what I was saying the whole time, bro. I'm not. Even when he came in, he had the family issue. I left. Bro, get it together. Because when I come back, I want to do good business and talk. That's what I said to you. I never had 2,000 to spend over that. That's what I'm saying. That's not on me. Which I said to her on the phone. I said to her in the message, you can't charge me a different price than what you told me. I even told you, bro, I got up to 2,000 to spend. So it's like that's basically what I was telling her. I'm paying a different price than I was told. So that's just a different price that I was. That's a different price than I was told at first. That's what I told you. I told him on the phone. Me and you had a great relationship.
Yeah, no. So the discrepancy was because since the first VIN we used was for a 1999 Chevy Tahoe, it's the rear brakes that were killing him because
So they're a different price because of the VIN issue?
Yeah, because the 1999 Chevy Tahoe VIN goes to a 5-lug rear drum assembly for the rear axle, whereas his 1997, which that's the other VIN that was on the vehicle, was for a 6-lug drum assembly on the rear end.
We still never exceeded 2,000, boss. I'm hearing everything you're saying. At the end of the day, what you told me, we never exceeded 2,000. I'd have told you don't, like I told you with the dashboard, like I told you with everything.
Yeah, but
come on, boss. I'm firm. So just to come in here and just because she showed me a paper and say this, that we didn't do paper, we did phone transactions. That's why I wanted to get you here with me. I know from the time I walked in, boss.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to the paint shop. I'm not trying to go to a car show. On 8 cylinders running, battery charging, brakes working. That don't take 2,000, boss. Come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I was saying to you.
power steering. You also mentioned power steering.
Power steering. Yeah, we did do that. But I still never went over that mark. And that's why you kept going talking to the boss. And every time you come back and say something was a maybe, don't worry about it. Dashboard, don't worry about it, boss. You good. I'm glad with what y'all did. Come on, man. Like, just treat me fair, boss. I ain't looking for no trouble. I spend money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not looking at, you feel me? But at the same time, I'm not going to spend money just because somebody say this and that. Like, come on, man. Like, be fair with me at least. Like, y'all getting the parts and costs. If y'all making the money on the parts, I know how our business go. Just treat me fair.
6 is this one. What's for that one? Actually, we had, if we pulled it up as a 99 Tahoe, which was the other VIN. I'm not ignoring you, Bobby.
Man, take your time. I'm just trying to get on this. I'm trying to get back on the same page me and you was on when we
and
talked
I'm
on the
trying
phone.
to get on the same page with her too. So we're trying to make sure all our ducks are currently in a row right now. Let's see, because we had it as this one, the 99, and it turned out to be this one, which is a completely different set. So there was a bit of a jump there. When it comes to the hardware, though, well, I mean, we already.
Drums itself.
Yeah, so what we have going on here is the drums itself.
But you convinced me to do all of that, the drums and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even gonna do it when you was like, do it. I'm like, cool. We was still under the 2,000.
Yeah,
but that was
because
your idea. You got me to spend that extra money. Remember that? Because I said I wasn't gonna do it, and you like, man, you might as well.
But if I could also add on a little bit too, in order for us to get to that leaking wheel cylinder, we had to tear those brakes down anyways.
Right.
And you needed them.
Right. I mean, needed them and wanting to do them because you convinced me is two different things. I didn't need them. What I didn't need to do is go over 2,000. I'm telling you, I did that because you convinced me to do it, and I said, you know what? Okay, cool. Long as we still not over 2,000. So I'm just letting you know I remember the conversation that well. Some of the stuff I wasn't gonna do, you got me to do the money. You got me to spend the money. So that's why I was mad when you told me that my brakes weren't working. Because I'm like, bro, you got me to spend all of this extra money and my brakes still not working.
Right. Well, and I believe that was the conversation was when Adam drove it and it wasn't stopping the way he wanted it to, right?
Yes, that was correct, because after we did all of that, it wasn't right.
And I was mad because I said, bro, you got me doing all of this extra stuff and the brakes not working, and you told me they worked. Wasn't that with the conversation? And I said, if I had to do anything else for the brakes, I wouldn't have did that. And I said, well, look, by me only having the money that I'm having, right, to spend, right, which we still went over 2,000. I said, look, if y'all don't want to comp me, bro, the other stuff that you said that wasn't working before the brakes was supposedly fixed, take that off and do what you need to do to fix the brakes. Was that or not my exact words? All the other stuff, I didn't need that because you said the brakes were working. So now if you have me do this stuff after saying the brakes was working and they not, and I only got 2,000, take that stuff back off, bro, and do what you need to do. I only got 2,000. That was how the conversation went with you when you said the brakes was working. And I was like, bro, why you getting me to spend all this extra money on this other stuff and the brakes is not working like you said they were? That's how the conversation went. I spent the extra money because you said, you know, I'm like, okay, I got to, as long as we ain't exceeding 2,000, I don't care. Whatever you say it need, whatever reply, I'll do it. Then it come to find out my brakes are still not working. So now I'm angry because it's like, bro, you got me doing this. I don't need that. I need this. So now I'm feeling like it's a paycheck being made on me.
I'm trying to. Well, like, it was also goes back to what I was mentioning earlier. Yes, you did need those, but then with that being replaced, it was the defective parts were basically masking an issue that was not seen until later on when we were working on your vehicle. That's the whole conversation I was having with you in that wheel cylinder and that brake master cylinder. With that wheel cylinder leaking,
Yes, sir.
it was mimicking what was going on.
And I'm
with the master cylinder.
I'm well aware of how a brake system works. We
Okay.
still, and I agreed it. We still wasn't over 2,000. You still said that my brakes was working before you found out the last issue. That's my argument. Me and you are on the same page with everything that needed to been done. You said the brakes was working. We on the same page. I still never exceeded 2,000 with
Which
my brakes
you are
being
correct
working.
on that, because I didn't realize that there was actually something else going on with the brakes until a test drive was performed.
Right, but who fault is that though? After saying that my brakes is working, and I'm telling you this is what I'm here for.
I hate to tell you the truth, Bobby, but it's actually nobody's, because
It can't be nobody's because y'all have my truck. What if I say I don't want none of that brake system no more? Take it back off. It's gonna be y'all fault. Y'all gonna lose. So you can't say it's nobody. You the shop.
well, if we put the old parts back on for those rear brakes, we would have put back on a leaking wheel cylinder, and your foot
Right,
would have
but
gone
you-
to the floor for the brakes.
You saying nobody's at fault when it can't
because
be
we
nobody.
because we didn't discover that there was still another issue with the
But
brakes
who
until
who?
the test
But hear
drive.
me out. Who fault is that? After telling the customer his car is working. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm. That was my point that I'm trying to make. You get what I'm saying? You called and said the brakes was working. How could you tell a customer his brakes is working if you ain't test drove the vehicle? That's the point I'm trying to make. That's why I said I wanted to talk to you, because the conversation we had on the phone is that your brakes is working. The car's set for a whole week. I was supposed to pick it up Monday. Oh, bro, you gotta wait. The brakes is not working no more. I'm like, hold on. Well, why are we ordering all this other stuff if you said the brakes is working? You assured me my brakes is working. Well, you might as well do this too. Then that's what I'm telling you. That's my argument, boss. That's the only thing I'm saying to you. You get what I'm saying? So you can't say no one's at fault.
Okay, but the additional issue that was found with the master cylinder was fixed for free and no charge for you.
We still over it more than what he told me. That's my point. I told him I had 2,000 to spend, and you trying to tell me I owe you another $200. So we doing this for $200. And at the end of the day, you saying nobody at fault for these conversations and these mistakes and this extra time that y'all shop taking. It can't be like that.
Okay.
It's not even possible, man.
I mean, we apologize for the time that
I don't need you to apologize. I don't want no apologies.
And I'm trying
I
to
want the
figure out where
conversation,
discrepancy is between the two different bins.
which is on y'all mistake, because if it was never agreed, how can I agree to it?
And I'm going to update it once I find the discrepancy.
That's what I'm telling you. I can't be charged for something I didn't agree to.
But you did agree to have the brakes done.
I didn't agree to spend nothing over 2,000 is what I told him. I told him that on the phone. I didn't agree to nothing over 2,000. That's what I'm telling you. That's my argument. You can't charge me over nothing at the end of the day. I'm coming, as long as my truck is running on 8 cylinders, my alternator is charging and my brakes is working, I got that. I don't, period. I don't give a damn what y'all did to it. That's my argument. Them are the 3 things I came for. So now that I'm here and this and that, and it's like I'm over 2,000, that's nothing I agree to. That's my thing. So however y'all gotta edit it up or do this and do that, that once again, that's not on me. I didn't agree to nothing over 2,000. You can't charge a customer for something he didn't agree to and say it's not nobody's fault.
Absolutely.
That's not business, love.
No, I agree with that completely.
Come on. That's why I do videos when I go to people. I got $50,000 motors. I do stuff like that. This stuff has to be in writing, because if this was any more bigger money, we'd be going to court. We're arguing about $200-$300. Like, come on.
I understand that. And it's not so much the amount of the money, it's trying to figure out how the issue happened and rectify the issue that happened.
And my only argument with that is, when I talked to him on the phone, we never went over 2,000. So that's not, once again, that's not on me. That's between y'all in the shop. If your person that you got working at a desk tell a guy we're going to do all of these things and we're going to stay under this amount, you can't come back and say, well, I had to go get these other parts, I had to charge you this. That's not, you can't do that. Customer don't have to tell you don't exceed the limit. You call a customer. That's like putting a paint job on my car, saying, yeah, bro, your truck needed a paint job on there. We did it. You owe us $5,000. You can't do that.
Oh, you didn't agree to that. No,
That's all I've been saying the whole time. I just know what I told you, bro. It was some stuff in there that I didn't even want to do. You got me to do it anyway. I said I don't give a damn. Do it because as long as it's under 2,000, go ahead, bro. You said it needed. It might not even have needed. I didn't care. I just said keep it under $2. We exceeded with the dashboard and the what's the name, which we never did. So once again, I'm back with a call saying no brakes. You over 2,000. You need this. You need that. No dashboard. No ignition. Like that don't even sound that. It threw me for a loop. Y'all had me stressed out for a week, bro. Because I know what me and you talked about. You get what I'm saying? Then I come in, him, he going through whatever he going through, bro, just please come back. Now I'm blue because I got to go back to Texas, come back here. Now I'm back here again. We're going to do the same thing again. Like, come on, man. It's more time wasted than money being made over not my mistake. That's what I'm saying to y'all. I've been saying it. It's like, it's not my mistake. I know what you tell me. If you tell me $7,000, pick your truck up, this going to be done, that's what I'm looking for. I don't. If I knew what all of this and all of that, I would be doing it myself. I wouldn't be coming to y'all. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, boss. Like I say, like, you know, I get bad reviews and stuff like this because people think, oh man, I'm just going to a business trying to start this. That's why I have to record, going to a shop, dropping the car off, this and that. I make money off of YouTube. So I have a real live active fan base, 10,000, 20,000 views in 24 hours. Like, you know what I mean? So when I leave shops, they come to places like this and, oh man, y'all did good business. But then it's like, when I go to shops and it's not going right, oh, you the bad person, you looking for a deal. No, I'm not looking for a deal. I'm looking for what you told me it was going to be. I don't go to shops who do floating numbers. If I go to a shop and I'm like, man, how much do some brakes? Well, in between $600 and $1,000. I'm leaving because you do brakes every day and you know how much they cost. Like, that don't even sit right with me. You feel me? That's like me. If somebody want a YouTube video, a feature, I'm gonna say, man, well, I usually charge $600 or whatever the price may be. I'm not gonna give them a roundabout because this is how we end up in situations like this. And as a company, before you put parts on somebody's thing, you have to clarify. But me and you clarified everything before we did everything. We was firm on it. And I was telling you, sorry for making you run back and forth, bro. But bro, I promise, bro, this is, you know what I'm saying? I told you that.
Yeah, because my only thing at the time was the fact that we were trying to keep this at a firm amount, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said from the get-go. We should be at a firm amount. We wasn't in 2,000, nothing, bro.
So I wanted her to just...
Bro, I had you running back and forth to get direct prices every time we talk. Because I just know I want to be so firm. So when, like I said, when I talk to somebody else and they say something else different, it's like, come on, man. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'm
gonna give y'all a second, boss. I'm gonna step outside.
Of course not.
I need some air, bro. Man, y'all. Rough day in the neighborhood, man. Had to come outside and hit my vape about it. Like, you know what I mean? Bro, it's hard to do YouTube content. We put money in YouTube content. We gotta be firm. I got 3-4 bills under construction right now. Let me say something to y'all, right? And this ain't no shade thrown to nobody else. I'm not one of them YouTubers or platformers YouTubers or public influencers who record other people's cars for a living. Right? I got all my own content. If it's somebody's car on my channel, bro, we either out on the strip somewhere or I got permission. I don't record other people's content. And I started YouTube off saying I'm gonna have my own content. With that being said, right, I have to be firm on what I spend on these bills, dog. Other people don't have these problems because they ain't building cars back to back to back to back. And dealerships, you know, you got new cars, you don't got to deal with this neither. But I got old cars, bro. So I'm building old cars. So I'm all brake system, all fuel system, all electric system. Like, I have run into these problems, boss. I'm just being firm on what we said. You know what I mean? I ain't making a deal out of nothing. I ain't looking for no trouble. It is what it is, you know? I'll tap back in with y'all shortly and let y'all know what's going on. All right, I'll call you back. Every time you hit the gas, you hear a big whining noise. Even when you hit the gas, you hear whining. You hear that whining noise?
Step on the gas.
Yeah, no, you can hear it now and when you step on the gas.
Tell the guy to unplug the alternator while it's running. Tell him to unplug it while it's running.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Rev it again.
Yeah, my dad said something about unplug it while it's running. Why would it whine though? Because it's definitely whining. It wasn't even whining like that when I brought it. You said. That's a whining noise. Alternator. The pulley squeak. Pulleys don't whine. That sounds like the alternator, boss. I can't hear you. You say what, Bobby? Yeah. Oh. My dad said unplug it. He said unplug it while it's running.
Yeah, unplug an alternator while it's running is going to do damage.
Well, that's how you test the alternator, though. You know if the alternator good or bad. If you unplug it, the truck will stay running.
With a warranty, you can't have that fixed at any time.
Unplug it while it's running, it don't have to it's not charged.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna. I ain't trying to be no jerk, love. If I'm finna give y'all that much money for alternator, I don't want to leave here with my alternator whining. That's not how alternator supposed to run. Listen, hit me out. I want my vehicle when it's done. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you, like, an alternator don't whine. You know what I'm saying?
If you want us to fix the alternator, we can do that tomorrow. We can't do it tonight.
I'm not once again, I haven't rushed y'all one time. I got y'all money. I just want my truck right. You know what I mean? So it's a big whining noise. I'm gonna take a video about it. I'm gonna call you right back.
Every day they can't ride my wave. Filling up the safe, they can't ride my wave.
$20 for the T, 200 for my J's. But that jewelry on my T, it cost me 60K. 2-day run on the road, it felt like 60 days. Soon as I got off that bitch, we ran up 60 plays. Instantly the prices drop, I chill, you know what's up with me. Hating niggas
dancing for the club.
We high, you not, you trash. That's worth the bubba dub. I know they don't like me. I'm gon' keep on put it in they face. I know they don't like me. I'm gon' keep on put it in they. I know they don't like me. I'm gon' keep on put it in they face. I got houses everywhere. Can't no bitch put me in my place. LV on me, GG on me, DD on me, ABC. 4G's on it, Candy on it. I love.
Hey, Sugar Man. It's long overdue, nigga. It's yours truly, the big homie Baby. Tapping all the way in. We talking that yank, Nick. Gillette, Illinois, to the motherfucking world. Yeah. 901 Bike Life. Chicago was poppin', nigga, let's get it.
A lot of y'all been hitting me up, wanna know how I've been doing lately.
Hey, Sugar Man, we going down through that, nigga. Don't play with this shit, don't play with this shit, don't play with him, nigga. Big box Chevy rider, nigga. Skirt!
A lot of y'all been hitting me up, wanna know how I've been doing lately. I've been doing great, crab legs and steak still on my plate, don't need your loving.
Let's crank it up, who fucking with me? Gang shit, no lame shit. Old school's candy paint drip. Supercharged when I lane. Don't act dumb, you know what's up with me.
Who I be?
Sugar Man on that. 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 Sugar Man on that.